What is up, my Shadowverse soldiers, and welcome back to another Shadowverse Evolved video. So it's finally Wednesday. We made it to another wonderful Wednesday, and we're doing another market watch. I'm sorry that I didn't get to it last week. Like I said, it was just very hectic. I got sick this past weekend, and then, I had some other opportunities to do some other stuff, but I'm able to get back and do it today. So I'm glad I'm with you guys. But from last week, Alice was definitely going down. She was sitting at around like $25, 28. But it looks like she's going back to a solid 33, so let's go ahead and check up on her. Alright, so let's go ahead and look at Alice. So for the first listing, she's sitting around like $33. But the other listings we can see here, she's sitting at 32, 29, but the shipping does boost it up a little bit to around $34, $35. And that's usually where she's sitting at right now, but last week she was sitting at around like closer to $25. So she was on a very low, and I see a whole bunch of people picked that up and saw that. But go ahead and keep a watch around like every day for Alice, because people are putting different listings up around like $20 or they're being fair, or if you want to go through secondary marketplaces, which I want to add, if you want me to check these secondary marketplaces, that being eBay or other places like that, let me know down in the description below and I will let you guys know and see. But looking at the Alice Evos, we can see that she's still sitting around like $23, 25 probably on the max, yeah, 26 on the side of the max of everything. So that's still pretty expensive for Evos and Alice's too. So let's look at some other cards. So we have Valiant Fencer sitting at around $16. It looks like the market price was, the huge price was sitting at around $23, but I'm glad he's finally going down. This deck was pretty affordable, like maybe like 2 or 3 weeks ago. And everyone's like, yeah, you can build Hero Sword for like $40. Well, unfortunately now it seems like a playset of Valiant Fencers are sending it past $40. And then you still need the Evos for the deck. So let's actually check up on the Valiant Fencer Evos. So looking at the Valiant Fencer Evo, he's sitting around $3. That's not too bad for one. But other than that, it seems like he's on the cheaper side in comparison to Alice, of course, but he's still volatile to the other decks. So let's see what other cards are still streaming in price. Do want to go ahead and announce that Leviathan Dragon is very up in price right now. I don't remember this card being $11, but I do remember it being very cheap when the set came out because not really too much came out. But we are getting into set 4 very close, and there's more Leviathan Dragons to come out, and those abilities are very strong. So if you don't have your Leviathan Dragons, go ahead and pick them up. They're sitting at around $11, or if you want to wait because Leviathan Dragon isn't that good. But Leviathan Dragon with Jabberwock, I feel like it's just a very strong combination of cards, especially being Dragoncraft and then ramping and all that stuff. But yeah, Leviathan Dragon was sitting at around $6. Now it's getting to the higher end of 12. So if you don't already have those, it seems like they're getting bought out very nicely. So go ahead and pick those up. Let's check on the other Evos for Leviathan Dragon, see if they're all high too. Yeah, looking at the attack form, it's sitting at like $2, and I'm pretty sure the other version of it is probably sitting at $2 too. This isn't very expensive, especially, you're going to be running multiple Leviathan Dragons in your Evolved deck. So you probably want that accessibility for other things. And then, if you're playing Dragoncraft, of course you need Forte. So let's see what the other one is. It's sitting at like $1. That's not anything too crazy. Yeah, $2 is what you're going to be spending for these Leviathan Dragons. So once the other ones come out, they'll probably skyrocket the price a little bit more, but that's closer into set 4. So if you want to rock Leviathan Dragon and don't have your Evos, go ahead and pick them up because they'll probably skyrocket as soon as set 4 comes out, because everyone's going to want to play the new Leviathan Dragon. But besides that, all the legendaries from set 3 are sitting at like $5. I think one shop is having all these cards sit at around $5, or just everywhere it's sitting at around $5. I knew they couldn't get this price right for each individual legendary in the past couple weeks because they were sitting at like, $4 and $3, but every single one is $5. So we have Snow White. Then we have Dark Alice that's also sitting at $5. We have Mystic King being a little under $5, but with that shipping cost, it's going to send it over $5. So Mystic King's also $5. And we have Masquerade Ghost that's sitting at a little bit under $5. He's sitting at $4, but with the shipping it adds in, he becomes a little over $5. And that's okay. But if you want to build any of the crafts and you want to go ahead and collect all these legendaries, I'd say go ahead and pick them up now. They're a little less than $5, so get your playsets while you can. Just unfortunately, Alice is a little expensive, so she's really the most expensive legendary in neutral class right now, besides the SPs and, the Us. And that's okay, because if you want to, low budget, just like I am, playing Shadowverse, you don't need all the fancy cards. But if you do want the really successful decks in the more competitive side, you will be paying a hefty penny. So speaking of competitiveness, we have the hot stamp for Springfest, and we have the Demon Punk, and he's sitting at around $33, you know, $35 with shipping. So this is a pretty decent card. I mean, it's very good in Abysscraft, especially if you're rocking control or even aggro. I mean, he has ward with it. So this card's sitting around $33, $36, $40. I mean, it's hard to get a good price on a promo that you can only get from certain places. But if they have like a whole bunch of these and a whole bunch of these go out and just lose their value, then they'll go down in price. But I don't think they're going to go down in price right now because Springfest is really what's happening as an event. So it's really hot. So let's look at what the other cards are. So we have 0 listings for the Dragon Summoner Evolved stamp. So let's see if there's other ones out there. Yeah, we have 0 listings for the Tin Soldier either. Let's see if there's anything on the last one. There's also nothing on the Flower Princess 2, which wasn't even sold at all. Skeleton Fighter also does not have any information on him as well. And just to get back to Dragon Summoner for a second, because I did make a mistake, she was sold for $6 on the 19th. Alright, and we have the Explosion promo that did sell for $60 on the 21st. So that's where these cards are kind of sitting out in price-wise. They just don't have any information on them. Hopefully after Springfest we'll have more of them in circulation. People won't want to hold on to them, and they won't be super expensive. Alright, and lastly, I can't see anything for the Magical Bishop promo for Springfest. We just have all these other ones from different events. Unfortunately, I can't find them, and they're not up here on the list, so I only pray that they are the least expensive because they're not very useful, since chess isn't very strong. I do want to say that the Medusa U is sitting at $30. I feel like this card's probably going to go up as soon as set 4 hits because we do have Serpents coming out, and she might be useful. Also, I know I'm looking in the starter deck right now, and I think there's only a couple starter deck exclusives that are just officers, but go ahead and pick up your officers right now, because officers are very cheap, and I feel like this is going to be a very deck to upcome on Swordcraft. I don't think it'll be better than Hero Sword in terms of aggro, but I do believe it does have a very strong mid game, so I'd say go ahead and pick up your officers now while we're in the little mid period or towards the end period of set 3, and then set 4 comes out and you don't have to pick up the officers while they're all expensive. But alright guys, that is the end of the video. Thank you so much for watching. You don't know how much it means to me that you guys are still here. Make sure you're safe in whatever you do tonight and safe whatever you do for the rest of the year. I will see you guys in the next one. Bye.
I gave you all my love, baby, my heart is cold when you're around. You warm it up, liquid gold, baby, yeah, you warm it up, liquid gold, baby, and my affection, all that paper you wasted. Take my love.